Alright, so without wasting your time with BS, this video is going to show you exactly how we made 600K in just 93 days and how we broke through the 3 million a year ceiling. Now, if you like what you see in this video, you can join my free community where I teach and go even deeper into what I share. The link for that will be in the description. Alright, so before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Justin. I help run Tower Creations, a non-union sign and awning company based in New York City. We now do over 6 million a year in revenue, but for 4 years, we were stuck in between the 1 to 3 million revenue range. I helped us break past that ceiling, and this video will show you exactly how. Now, to give you an idea of our capabilities, we've done projects for Vive Fitness, Shake Shack, Public Health Solutions, Somewhere Nowhere, and Seaport Garden Bar. So if you're a subcontractor or a specialty trade business owner like steel fabricators, electrical, HVAC, commercial roofing, glass, this video will apply to you because the principles actually stay the same regardless of your trade, right? So how to scale past 3 million? Before we broke our 3 million a year ceiling, we used referrals to find work, mainly referrals, right? The strategy was hustling for referrals and completing jobs. Now, this is too common in the subcontracting and specialty trade business. The issue is we only grew from referrals and completing jobs, right? Now, the businesses that scale beyond 3 million do 3 things differently. 1, they drive and close cold traffic consistently and predictably. 2, they maximize how much a customer spends with them overall. And 3, they leverage strategic partnerships and referrals to access premium opportunities. All right, so what if you could have a consistent flow of qualified leads coming into your business every single week? You know how many sales meetings you'll have, how many proposals you'll send out, and approximately how many new clients you'll sign so that you could scale and grow your business. So before I dive into the case study, it's broken down into 3 different parts. We'll go over the exact traffic channels that we use to generate an extra 600K in 93 days, the sales systems that we use to convert the cold traffic into high-paying clients, and then how to leverage your network to access premium projects your competitors never see, right? If you have any questions or need help applying this to your business, again, you could join my free community and you could reach out to me there directly, okay? Okay, so now that we've established that driving and closing cold traffic is one of the key elements of a high-scaling business, let's quickly go over why this is more important than you might think, right? Most people only rely on inconsistent lead sources like referrals and word of mouth, right? The key thing to understand is that you can't leverage what you don't control. So referrals are great and they bring in high quality leads, but you have no say in whether or not someone sends you a referral, right? And since you have no control, you can't leverage referrals to scale your business unless you're lucky. It's like trying to drive a car without a gas pedal. You're just waiting for the next downhill slope to move you forward. And that's what makes referrals unreliable if you're trying to grow consistently. So if we compare the average sales process from one that's generating leads from outreach, content, ads, referrals, partnerships, which company do you think will go quicker, right? I think the answer here is obvious. If we look at the 2 diagrams, right? So it's like running a business without a gas gauge. You're moving forward, but you have no idea when you will run out of fuel. Some months are great, others are dead, but building a repeatable lead system removes guesswork, right? You know how many qualified leads and closes are coming in every single week. So how do we generate traffic, right? Traffic costs either money or time. What do you do when you're constrained on one or both? What if you don't have tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of hours to spend but still need maximum traffic? All right, so there are only 3 channels of marketing and traffic, right? Everything else are just methods within each channel. We've got outreach, content marketing, and ads, right? For outreach, you could email, phone call, you could do direct mail. Content marketing, you could do SEO, you could do YouTube, you could do social media, ads, billboards, Facebook ads, commercials. You get the point, right? What is the difference between the 3? Outreach is low cost in money, but high in time, right? It's fast, meaning the time or money you put in quickly turns into traffic, right? But only works linearly. If you stop doing outreach, it stops generating traffic, right? It's non-compounding. Content marketing is low cost money behind time. It's slow, but it compounds over time, meaning that in the beginning, it might not generate as much traffic for you, but later on, it usually outperforms paid ads and outreach, right? And also, it continues working even after you stop, right? Now, ads are high cost in money, low cost in time. They're fast but linear. When you stop spending, the results stop as well, right? It's important to understand that all three of these channels actually work together synergistically. Each one enhances the effectiveness of the others, because when someone encounters multiple touch points from your business, their trust naturally increase, right? So you have to consider it, right, from your prospect's perspective. Who would you be more likely to purchase from? Someone you've never heard of, or a company whose content you've seen, whose ads appeared in your feed, and who has personally reached out to you? Okay, so let's break it down to stages, because for most businesses, running all three channels is unrealistic, right? So if you're a pure beginner, meaning 0 to 50K per month, I recommend you do cold outreach. You don't have clients, but you have time. So cold outreach is going to be your best bet. And then when you hit 50 to 100K per month, you could add content and ads. By then you'll have case studies and expertise and money, and you won't have time to do all three. So content and ads are the most scalable. You run that, then outsource the cold outreach that you've learned, right? Also keep in mind, I would not advise to hire an agency, especially if you're a beginner, right? It's important that you learn the fundamentals and how to actually run each three of these channels, right? All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper into each of these channels, right? So for outreach, there are two ways to go about cold outreach, right? You've got manual prospecting, like guerrilla marketing, and then you've got automated outreach, right? So manual is going door to door, handing out business cards, cold calling, emailing, LinkedIn connects, right? The way I recommend you do this is by building a list of 100 dream clients and manually interacting with them to get a point of contact. And the point of contact is the key part here. So let's say you're going door to door, don't just hand out business cards, also ask for their business card as well, or a point of contact so that you could follow up with them, right? Now, if you're doing this digitally, you have to reach out from many different angles. You could email them, see if they reply, cold call them, and then see if they pick up, ask for an active email to send information. If you connect with them on LinkedIn, ask if you could send your information via email as well, right? And if one line of contact dies, try the other one. If they were responding on LinkedIn but not email, you could send them a LinkedIn message. Now there's the automated outreach approach, right? Which is a method we in Tower Creations use because it's more scalable. It requires a bit more capital for software though, so just keep that in mind. Now our exact process looks like this. We send cold emails to targeted prospects, right? Then we follow up with cold calls to everyone who shows interest. So we send the cold email. If they show interest in our service, then we cold call them immediately, right? And then if we try to book a meeting, and if we don't, we keep all contacts in our database for future follow-ups, even those who have initially shown no interest, right? Now, I was sending about 10,000 cold emails daily for 3 months, right? So here's the exact math. 1 meeting per 1,000 emails sent, 10 meetings per day, which is 50 meetings weekly, and then 50 meetings at a 10% close rate, which equals 4 new clients. Each client is worth 4,000 minimum, so weekly revenue was 20,000, monthly revenue is 80,000, right? Okay, so let's dive a bit deeper into ads, okay? Our lead generation strategy with paid ads focused on high intent marketing, meaning we were advertising to people that showed intent for our services. We didn't do commercials and billboards because there's no real way to track intent. We opted for the digital approach, which is Google ads and Facebook ads, because since they have high tech that actually can track whether or not the people that you show your ads have intent of buying, right? Now the funnel for our ads was simple. It was just a direct offer ad to landing page, and then we try to book an appointment, right? With ads, you need to be on the high end of the budget. If you're only spending $500 a month, you're not bringing in valuable opportunities, right? We invest $3,000 to $6,000 monthly in ads, which is a decent amount for the sign industry, but in 2024, this produced us a 9x return on ad spend, right? and our cost per lead ranged from $20 to $100, right? Depending on the platform. So what makes our ads work is we target high intent keywords and audiences. We create simple ads for our services. Then we set up systems to engage immediately with every lead. I'll touch more on this later. This is part of how to close cold leads, right? And then we track performance meticulously to eliminate waste. Now, for our ads, it's the simplicity that makes it work and efficient, right? And we close cold traffic at over 30%, right? All right, lastly, let's go over content, right? Scenario A, you hand out business cards at a networking event. Prospects look you up, find a sloppy website, empty social profiles. The interaction dies before it begins. Scenario B, you hand out the same cards, but prospects discover professional portfolio pieces, videos showcasing your manufacturing process, and helpful FAQ content. That brief handshake turns into a meaningful relationship. The difference is your digital footprint, right? So you need to block out one day each week solely for content creation and keep it simple. It doesn't need to be Hollywood quality, right? It needs to be consistent. Your website must look professional. Your case study should highlight challenges faced, solutions implemented, and results achieved. And your FAQ should be continuously updated. So here's the thing with content, right? It serves two critical purposes. It drives traffic, improves expertise, and content especially helps with cold outreach, right? So over time, this content compounds, right? To improve your authority in the market, improve your conversion rates on all other channels, and create a permanent asset that continues to generate leads. Now, the simplest way to post content is to do FAQs for your service, before and after voiceover walkthroughs, and time-lapse videos. And do this across every platform, right? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You want to do short-form content daily and long-form content weekly or bi-weekly. Remember, cold traffic doesn't know you. You need to show them you're an authority. Your online presence isn't just a traffic source. It's a multiplier, right? That boosts every method exponentially. It's the credibility bridge between first contact and deal closed. Okay, so part 2, how to close cold traffic. So you've got cold traffic coming in now. The next step, we need to close it and make these campaigns profitable. Here's the reality. Referral leads are hot. They already trust you, someone they respect vouch for you. They've probably seen your work. They're basically pre-sold. Most of you guys are probably closing referrals at a 90% or better, right? But with cold traffic, it's a different game. They don't know you, they don't trust you. There's no credibility built yet. Cold traffic has to be systemized, okay? But here's where it gets interesting. If you could consistently close cold traffic, you unlock unlimited growth. Why? Because when you serve those cold clients well, they start referring you. They become your referral machine, and growth starts compounding. It's pretty obvious, but the businesses that scale beyond 3 million, they're not just good at getting traffic, they're exceptional at converting it as well, right? So imagine this. You've got a system so dialed in that you could take complete strangers and turn them into high-paying clients on purpose. You know that for every 100 cold prospects, 25 to 30 of them will become customers. Not by luck, not by chance, but by design. You're not hoping for referrals anymore. You're engineering them by first converting cold at scale, okay? So let's go over the 3 pillars. Pillar 1, speed, right? The number 1 factor in closing cold traffic is speed. When someone shows interest in your business, you need to engage fast. Most companies make the mistake of waiting hours or even days to respond to inquiries. Responding within 5 minutes increases conversions by 400% compared to waiting just a few hours. Leads contacted within the first hour are 7 times more likely to engage with your business. After 24 hours, closing chances drop by 50% or more. They either lose interest or go with competitors. So part of that actually is by implementing a CRM. What a CRM is a software businesses use to keep track of their customers and interactions with them. It allows you to instantly record all customer data, including leads, automate follow-up sequences, and tracks all data so that you could leverage the right channels. Think of capturing and organizing leads like planting seeds in a garden. Each company you reach out to is a seed you plant. Some seeds sprout immediately, which are quick converting clients, and others take time, requiring consistent nurturing. Even if the seed doesn't grow right away, it remains ready to sprout when the conditions are right. Every month, 100 people inquire about your services. Without a system, many say they'll think about it, right? Others you forget to follow up with, and some ghost you. But with a CRM, every lead gets recorded automatically. The system reminds you to follow up at a perfect time, and you clearly see which leads are ready to buy versus which need nurturing. Automated emails and texts keep you in touch without manual effort. Now the result is that you close 20% more deals with the same number of leads, all because of the speed at which you're operating at and the consistency, right? All right, now pillar number 2, a grand slam offer. If you've ever read 100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, he talks about his idea of a grand slam offer. I highly recommend you read that book if you haven't, by the way. A grand slam offer is Hormozi's term for an offer that's so good, people feel stupid saying no. Here's an example. Offer A. Here's our prices, here's our portfolio, let us know. Offer B. We'll install your signage in 21 days, or you will get 100% of the profits we made from your job. That is an example of an irresistible offer, right? A grand slam offer. Now, why does it work? It removes the risk, it builds trust instantly, and it signals confidence and competence, right? Now, we aren't just another vendor. We're a guarantee. Since cold traffic didn't know us 5 minutes earlier, and cold leads don't convert because they don't trust you, you need to remove the fear, right? Make the deal so good they feel stupid saying no, okay? Now, pillar number 3, we need to follow up long term. Every lead is a future opportunity regardless of whether they say yes or no today. Every lead you generate should be treated as a long-term asset. This means following up consistently and persistently, not just a few days or weeks, but for years. For every prospect we interact with, whether they become a client or not, we follow up quarterly, semi-annually, and annually. We send personalized messages automatically through our CRM. We check in about previous conversations and potential new opportunities. Even if someone isn't interested today, their situation will change. When we send outreach emails, we know many recipients won't be ready immediately, but by following up every quarter, we eventually catch them at the right time. Let me break this down for you, okay? All right, so it starts with your traffic drivers, right? Your outreach traffic, content ads, all generating traffic to your Grand Slam offer, okay? With your Grand Slam offer, you want to differentiate yourself from the competition. You want to hook the audience so that you can generate more traffic and at a cheaper rate as well. Now, there's one of two ways your traffic will go, right? They either become a new lead or they don't become a new lead and they engage with you. That's when you follow up with outreach, follow up with content, follow up with ads, right? Now let's say eventually they become a new lead. What you don't want to do is wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, a day, 2 days to follow up with this lead, right? By that point, you've already lost them. They've gone to a competitor. They've probably forgot about you, right? What you want to do is use the CRM, interact with them instantly, right? Whether it's a text message, an email, a phone call, you want to interact with them instantly so that you could get an appointment booked, right? So let's say you've now connected with the lead, you've called them, you've set an appointment, right? And you've booked the job. What do you do if you don't close the job? Most companies are probably going to just forget about the lead, never interact with them again. That's a lost opportunity, okay? What we do is, regardless of whether we close the deal or not, right? We snooze them. And when we snooze them, we wait about 30 days, 60 days, and we follow up with them again. Because 80% of your customers spend just 20% of the total revenue that they are willing to spend, right? That means the top 20% of your list are willing to spend 8% more, right? So you just need to follow up with them consistently. Now, this cycle repeats itself every single month. You keep re-engaging your list, you keep bringing in new leads, you keep turning no's into yeses. That's the point, right? You want to follow up with them in the future when they're ready to work with you. On top of that, it is 5 times more expensive to get a new customer than it is to sell again to someone who's already in your system. So overall, this diagram is an example of how to utilize all 3 pillars so that you could close cold traffic consistently. Okay, so let's get into the third and last part of this case study, okay? So you've heard the saying, your network is your net worth, right? It's not just cliche, it's literally what separates businesses that plateau from the ones that scale, okay? So I think we could all agree that the biggest contracts, the prestigious clients, the reoccurring revenue deals generally come from relationships and referrals, right? So how do we sign these contracts, clients, and reoccurring revenue? We do this by taking control of our network and referrals by building strategic partnerships, right? So instead of hoping that someone refers us business, we can proactively encourage referrals ourselves. Now, this is where you're getting invited to projects your competitors don't know exist. You're choosing between premium clients, paying you 2 to 5x what you usually charge, right? So there are 3 ways we could use our network to get more business, okay? The first is referral partnerships or affiliation programs. This is where we're incentivizing referrals. The second way is by white labeling partnerships, another word for private labeling, brand partnerships, right? The third way is with private vendorships. Instead of prospecting for direct leads, we're prospecting and networking for private bidding, okay? So partnership type number 1, referral partnerships. Referral partnerships are formed with companies that serve the same audience as you without directly competing, okay? So for our signage business, we partnered with architect companies who design buildings that need signage, contracting companies who manage construction projects requiring signs, property management firms whose clients need ongoing signage service, branding agencies, commercial real estate brokers, right? You get the point here. Okay, so these partners already have established relationships with your ideal clients. When you create a formal referral arrangement, you essentially are borrowing their trust and credibility. What referral partnerships allow you to do is get warm leads from trusted sources, expand your sales reach without hiring reps, and leverage existing relationships you don't have. Okay, so here's how we do this step by step. First, we list the dream clients who'd benefit from your service, right? Then we identify people who already work with them. Then we pitch a referral deal. Send me a client, get 10% of the deal. Ideally, you want to make this a grand slam offer as well. Something that the referrer feels stupid saying no to, okay? Number 4, we equip them with the tools, so we give them a referral script, email templates, landing page. We try to make it effortless for them. And then we over-deliver for every referred client to build trust and trigger more referrals, okay? All right, now let's get into the second type of partnerships, which are white labeling partnerships. Now, instead of competing with other signage companies, we positioned ourselves as a back-end production and installation team. Now, this works because a lot of companies actually don't have the specialized capabilities and want to offer services, but just can't justify the equipment or the hiring. What we do is we could handle these jobs under their brand. And it allows us to scale revenue without sales staff. We tap into other companies' client bases, and then we avoid competition by becoming the back-end partner. So here's how we implement this. First, we find agencies or firms or other signage businesses that, again, lack the capabilities but still want to offer the service. We then offer them a white labeled signage service under their brand. Then we let them handle the client relationship, and then we could handle the production and installation. We provide wholesale pricing so they can mark up and resell our services. We stay invisible. We use their email, branding, and processes if needed. We can sign an NDA. Number 6, or last step, would be to deliver high quality work that makes them look good, okay? You want them to keep bringing us work. Now, we could reverse this partnership model to monetize leads that don't fit your core business. So at Tower Creations, we avoid smaller jobs because they don't align with our resources and capabilities. However, we don't just discard these opportunities, we monetize them, right? So we've identified signage companies eager to handle the projects that we don't want, right? So we pass the jobs to them under our name, we maintain the client relationship, we mark up their services for profit, and the client gets their needs met. You have to be careful here though, because you want to be partnering with someone that is trusted, that could actually bring the results, the service that you're white labeling, okay? Now, this allows us to generate revenue from otherwise unprofitable leads, appear as a full service company with vast capabilities, allows us to also keep clients in our ecosystem rather than sending them somewhere else. And then we could test new service offerings before bringing them in-house. So white labeling other services step by step. That's how we do it. First, you identify leads or jobs that don't fit your core business. We build a network of smaller or even just different sign companies that are willing to take these jobs at a wholesale rate. And then we pass the jobs to them under our brand or your brand while maintaining the client relationship. We mark up the service and present it as part of our broader offering. And then you ensure quality control to protect your brand reputation. Then you deliver the project as if it was done in-house. Let's go over the last partnership type, which is private vendors list, okay? This is where the large scale opportunities exist, okay? So private vendor lists are exclusive, pre-approved directories of suppliers that large organizations trust or work with regularly. Here are the benefits, okay? Priority access to jobs without competing with random companies. You can build long-term relationships rather than one-off projects. You've got higher margins due to less price competitions. And then a lot of the times these are clients who value reliability over the cheapest bids. So there are a couple ways to get onto these lists. I'm going to name a few, okay? So you can register in procurement portals. Many private companies, universities, and real estate portfolios use vendor registration portals or supplier management platforms to manage bids or vendor onboarding. Some examples are like Service Channel and Building Engines. These systems often allow self-registration for vendors. Some of them require an invite. You could reach out to the companies for the ones that do, and then you could request one. So another way is to work through property management firms. Property management companies manage dozens of hundreds of buildings, and they often have private vendors lists. Some key companies are CBRE, JAL, Cushman and Wakefield, Colliers, Greystar, and Lincoln Property Company. Many have procurement events or local supplier initiatives, so you have to watch for those. You want to provide COI, W-9, and vendor forms proactively. One of the most common barriers is paperwork, so prepare a vendor packet ahead of time, okay? Usually you want W-9, COI, references, past work examples, any necessary certifications like MBE, WBE, OSHA, UL, etc. Send this when pitching or after initial interest to speed up onboarding. Another way is to target facilities and construction decision makers. These roles typically own or influence vendor decisions, right? So you want to target director of facilities, property or operations manager, VP of real estate, or construction. You want to join or attend industry events where facilities and property managers meet, right? Some examples are Building Owners and Managers Association, International Facility Management Association, and Retail Real Estate, right? You want to exhibit or attend with intent to network with procurement managers and buyers. Another good way is like private schools, hospitals, and universities. A lot of these institutions often manage private RFPs or preferred vendor programs. You could go onto their website, look under procurement or vendor registration, and then you want to register or contact their facilities team directly, okay? Offer service trials or free consultation for newer relationships. Offer a free sited assessment, right? It creates a foot in the door opportunity that can turn into official vendor onboarding. And then respond to private RFPs via aggregator platforms. Sites like Construction Connect, BidNet, Dodge Construction Network, Building Connected. So finding and securing partnerships mirror our lead generation approaches, right? So for cold outreach, we send targeted emails to potential partners. We follow with calls to discuss mutual benefits. We present clear, specific partnership proposals, right? We go to networking events. We attend industry events where potential partners gather. And then we follow up systematically after the event. Now, to demonstrate value, we show potential partners your portfolio and case studies, and then offer a small initiation project to prove your capabilities. All right, so let's do a 60-second recap of the case study. So far, we've covered our 3-channel traffic system that generated consistent leads, cold outreach that produced 50 meetings weekly and 80K monthly, paid ads that delivered 9x ROAS by investing 3 to 6K monthly, organic content that compounds over time through consistent posting. We went over our 3-pillar approach to closing cold traffic, right? So speed, responding within 5 minutes, which increases conversions by 400%. A grand slam offer, an offer that's so good, people feel stupid saying no. And then following up, right? Treating each lead as a long-term asset, not a one-time opportunity. And then we went over how to leverage partnerships, right? Referral partnerships with complementary businesses, white labeling partnerships in both directions, and then getting on private vendors lists for premium high profit projects. All right, so that's really it for this case study. If you have any questions or need help implementing this, I'd be happy to go over it with you. You just need to join the free community, and then you could contact me there direct. This was a general overview, and I try to make it as detailed as possible without getting too in depth, or else this video could be like 10 hours long, honestly. So feel free to join the free community. For now, that's it for this video. All right, thank you.